Congressman, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Great. Congressman Valadao, your family's from Portugal.
Yeah, my parents immigrated to this country. My dad a little before my mom, but 69 to 72.
You are new to Congress, District 21. You represent District 21, and you won election in November. And early on, you had said that immigration reform was important to you. Why?
Well, it's important to my district. It's important to me. We've had a broken immigration system for decades now, and it's something that needs to be resolved. It's one of those things just hanging out there that needs to be fixed, and it's an important issue to me, obviously, because of my background. But it's good for us.
And, of course, you come from California, and District 21 has an agricultural side to it that's very significant.
Well, agriculture is the base of our economy in my district. So agriculture is a huge portion of the employment. It's a huge portion of everything. So and immigration is very important to agriculture as well. So it kind of ties really well.
Congressman, you have indicated that you don't like patchwork items, that you want to see things that are fixed long-term, not short-term. By that, I gather you mean that you want to see integral immigration reform.
The reason, it makes sense. It has to be because we're not here to play a game with people's lives, and you can't do one part, not the whole part. And if we're going to start looking at enforcement of laws and other things, we have to make sure we have a system that allows people to get right with the laws before that. And so it has to be a whole package deal, or we're setting ourselves up for a failure, and I don't want to see that happen.
Congressman, if you had to say 4 important components to successful immigration reform, and I know it's more complex than that, but 4 basic points, what would they be for you?
Well, obviously we've got to keep families together. We've got to respect that we want to see parents with their children, and we want to see both parents together. So keeping families together to me is an important side of it. Obviously, we have to respect the rule of the law. But we have to make sure that we have law that works. So we have to have enforcement, but we have to have a system that allows us a place where people can actually immigrate to this country and become part of society. So I'd say that's at least 3 sides of it. And the 4th side is that it's a complete package. It has to have everything has to be on the table, and we have to be able to accomplish it all at once. If it's not all, it's going to be really tough to do part of it.
When we talk, temporary work visas have been talked about, and I would imagine that would be very important in your district in particular.
Yes. Well, in my district's a little bit different than a lot of other agriculture districts. I have everything from animal agriculture to row crops to specialty crops where we are seasonal. And we want to make sure we have flexibility, that people come to this country are able to actually work but have access to flexibility to, if they're not happy with their employer, not be afraid of leaving that employer and go to another job.
That's so important. I agree with you 100%. I think that's terribly important.
Well, it actually helps protect the employee because it gives them the flexibility to do what's right for them and their family, but it also keeps the employers competitive, so they're not able to do things that aren't as good for the employee.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
When you say that there needs to be an opportunity for those who are here without documentation to get on the right side of the law, what do you mean by that? Are you talking about, when we talk about legal status, it doesn't necessarily mean the same thing for everybody?
No. Well, we have to start the conversation. So some sort of legal status is an important start, but we don't want to go down that path where they're not allowed to become citizens. So people have to have the process, have to have the ability. I don't necessarily want to create a slippery slope where people become citizens on accident. We want to have a process that respects and keeps the standard of citizenship at a level where people have to work for it. They have to want it and want to earn it. So when they do achieve it, they're very proud of that and hold that to a high respect. But we have to start at some level. So some type of visa that allows people to come out of the shadows, be part of society, not be afraid to call the police when they've got an issue in their communities, or not be involved in their kids' education, talking to their teachers or talking to whoever, I think is an important component, because if people are afraid of getting deported and don't want to have these conversations with those around them in society, it's not good for anybody in the community.
Congressman Valadao, your district is 70% Hispanic. Of those, how many vote?
About 49 to 50% of my district, the voting population is Hispanic.
That is an astounding number. And the reason it's kind of surprising is because a lot of people think that a Republican can't win in California.
Well, I know you mentioned it in the beginning before I came on, but I do speak a little Spanish and I do speak Portuguese as well, so I can get by. And what helps me there is I'm able to actually talk to people and convey my own message of who I am and what I represent. And so that's always been a benefit for me.
And voters always know the real deal. And they can make a mistake, but that's the beauty of a democracy, that you can correct that error in the next election. But in general terms, people can tell when there's someone who's really speaking in good faith.
Yeah, I think people can sense sincerity, and I think people understand and know. I'm not the politician that just walks in the door, smiles and waves with whatever group I'm trying to attract, but and poses for pictures. But we're actually reaching out and having meetings and having conversations and trying to accomplish something at the same time.
Congressman Valadao, I'm sorry, I only have a minute left. How likely are we going to see immigration reform pass in the Congress this year?
You know, I'm optimistic. I do believe we've got an opportunity. I have been pushing on leadership quite a bit to tell them that this is important for all of us, not just my district and my constituents. And I do get the feeling that they are interested and they are willing to work. I do have a lot of leadership's ear, and I believe we've got a great shot. We just got to keep putting the pressure. All it takes is all you've got. I really firmly believe in that. Congressman David Valadao, Republican for District 21 of California. Congressman, thank you so much for taking time with us here today on Zona Politica con Helen Aguirre Ferrer of Univision America. Thank you. I'm glad to be on. Hope to have you back again soon, sir.